Hello, this is Mrs. Strader. I'm principal here at Park Lane Elementary, and if you're logging in to view this video, I'm assuming that you either have a kindergarten or first grader, or perhaps a student in Miss Maddie or Mrs. Berner's classes, and you are interested in learning a little bit more about what the remote learning is going to look like here at Park Lane, at least for this first quarter of the school year, and perhaps longer. Hopefully not for most of us. Hopefully, most of us will get to jump back into a more typical school experience after the first quarter. That's the hope right now. And for a few of you, a couple of our classrooms, they will remain online all year. So Mrs. Edmiston's class for kindergarten and Miss Biller's class for first grade. So if you've signed up for those, your children for those classes, then you're planning on staying remote for the entire school year. At any time, if you do decide that you would like to return to the in-person and that's being offered, you can do that by contacting the school office. So I've prepared a presentation. This is the same presentation that was provided to our kindergarten families during assessment here in August 19, 20, and 21. And we're also offering this on August 24 and 25 for our first grade families during meet and greets, and wanted to also provide this video recording of the same session so that parents could perhaps get some questions answered and then learn how to work through assignments in a Google Classroom. So I'm going to be toggling back and forth between this presentation here, where I've got some slides, and actually getting into a Google Classroom so that you can see how things will actually work. I do really encourage parents to consider how they're going to set up things at home in terms of making sure that students have a place to work, have their needed school supplies. A set of headphones is going to be really important. And again, one of the most important things is going to be that place to work. So whether it's the kitchen table, the dining room table, whether you're pulling a chair over to an end table or a side table, but a flat, hard surface for the Chromebook or laptop or tablet to sit on, and a child seated in a chair, much like they would be at school, so that they can really focus and concentrate. And the ability to put those headphones on for extra focus is going to be really, really important in order to make this successful. The other thing that we want to make sure parents understand is that students will have written work as well. Kindergarten and first grade is a lot about learning to write, right? Write numbers, write letters, how to form letters, building hand strength, learning to cut, glue, all of those things. So we are providing a binder of activities for each family. Those activities will be assigned to students as we go. Please do not let your child work ahead. Teachers are going to be assigning things for students to do. Hey, parents will be bringing those items to school to turn in every 2 weeks. Our first turn-in date for our paperwork will be September 14th. Okay. First graders start school August 26th. Hey, those first few days are going to be kind of get to know you, not a lot of assignments per se. Hey, trying to just kind of get everyone acclimated, and then starting August 31st will be the regular live lessons twice a day with specific assignments. And then for kindergartners, their first official day is August 31st. Again, we'll take those first few days to kind of get everyone acclimated, and then we'll jump in with the live assignments. All right. Hopefully, that's a little bit of a background to get us started and to jump into the presentation here. So, again, welcome to the online Chromebook training. I'm not going to full screen mode because I'm going to be going back and forth with the Google slide deck. All right. So now, if you have a Google Chromebook that you have borrowed from school, or perhaps you just have your device at home. I'll try to kind of talk in generality so that regardless of the device that you're on, hopefully you'll be able to follow along. So again, if you wish to check out a Chromebook from school, you should have already requested one. But if you have no other device that your child is going to be able to access their online learning, please contact us at Park Lane Elementary as soon as possible. Okay? Every child will eventually be assigned a Chromebook, but our Chromebook order is back ordered right now until mid to late October. All right, so if you have a device that you can log into, you're going to be referring back to the password paper that we have already provided for families, or that you will be picking up when you join us for the first grade meet and greets. If you do not have passwords, you've not yet picked up your child's binder, please make arrangements to come to the school as soon as possible. Pick up that binder so that you have all these passwords. And I would recommend at that point you come back and complete this training. If you try to do it without those passwords handy, it's going to make it very difficult. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to a web browser. Okay. I would recommend that you use a Chrome browser. Okay. And when you're in that Chrome browser, you're going to log in. Now, if you're on a Tecumseh issued Chromebook, you're going to open that Chromebook and it's going to have a login screen. It's the first thing that's going to pop up. What you'll notice about a Tecumseh device is it's going to say at tecumsehlocal.org already in that bar where you're going to type your child's username. Hey, I am not on a school issued, well, it is, it's my school issued laptop, but it's not a school issued Chromebook. Hey, so I'm just in a Google Chrome browser. And just like many of you, if you already have a Gmail account, typically it's got your icon up here. Perhaps it's your picture. If you click on that, you can add another account. Okay, so you can see I have my account, but I have the option to add another account. I'm actually in a student account right now, kind of a test account, just so that I can practice and show you what to do. So you click add another account, type in your child's first two initials of their first name, dot their last name, and then four numbers that are the last four numbers of your child's student identification. Again, if you have not gotten that password sheet from us, you're going to need that before you can start this training. All right. This is a sample of what that password sheet is going to look like. So this is what you're looking for. Hey, it's going to have your child's name at the top and it's going to list all of those passwords. So again, once you have that in hand, you're going to go ahead and you're going to type in that username. Hey, either in that white bar on the school issued Chromebook that already says at tecumsehlocal.org, or you're going to be going up here and adding another account, hey, or going into a page that, hey, allows you to log into a Gmail account. Once you are logged in, hey, you're going to look up here in the right hand corner and you're going to see it says Gmail images and it has this what we call the Rubik's Cube. It's the 3x3 grid. This is the access to the Google Apps. I just point out that your child does have a Gmail account. We don't expect them to be checking their email, but it is here. When assignments are posted in their Google Classroom, they also get an email about it. But again, we're not expecting kindergarten and first graders to go in and check an email account. But as a parent, if you need a quick email account to send a message to the teacher, you could jump in and just send that message to your child's teacher and get your response right there. Right here in this Google Apps, if you'll click that, you'll notice these are all of the different apps that Google has available. The main one that your child is going to need access to on a regular basis is their Google Classroom. So if you click on that Classroom, which is right here, okay, it's like the green chalkboard with the gold around it. It says Classroom. When you click on that Classroom, all of the classrooms that your child is a part of are going to pop up. I am, again, just kind of in a sample account, and I just am into this kindergarten teaching where I have these assignments posted. But your child is going to have 7 classrooms. They've got their regular classroom teacher, and then they have all of their specials teachers. And I know some people questioned whether a kindergarten or first grader really needs 7 classrooms, and they really do. These are all classes that they visit during the school year when they're in person. And that means they're going to need to get materials from those teachers now during remote learning and when they return to the building. So they're going to have a classroom for art, music, PE, library, and technology, as well as guidance. Those 6 plus their classroom teacher. Now, when it comes to specials for this remote period of learning, we have decided that it makes a lot more sense for us to all have the same specials every day, K through 5. So whether you have one elementary student or perhaps 2 or 3 elementary students, they're all going to have art on Monday. They're all going to have library on Tuesday, etc. Okay, right here on this password sheet that you've got from us, down here at the bottom, hey, we tell you what that special schedule is going to look like. And again, it's just alphabetical order. Monday, hey, art, Tuesday, library, Wednesday, music, Thursday is PE, and Friday is technology. Since PE is a kind of an active day, we've added guidance to Thursday. Okay, guidance, lessons will come from, again, our guidance counselors. So sometimes those assignments for specials might be something that the family can do together, which we thought would be really nice for families. So, on Thursday, maybe the whole family is able to do something PE related together. Sometimes the assignments are not going to be the same, but those specials teachers are kind of aware of that and trying to make those activities while still meeting their standards something that families can do together. All right, so now that you're in your child's Google Classroom, I want you to click and drag that main classroom. So again, I only have one classroom in this login, but you're going to have several of them. So if you will click with one finger and drag that main classroom, so Mrs. Adkins or Mrs. Stryker, whatever your child's teacher's class is, drag it up here to this upper left corner so that your child can easily find that. Hey, point out to your child what color it is or maybe what the icon is. So again, they can find it easily. Once you have that done, if you'll go ahead and click on that classroom, your child's main classroom, it's going to open up and you're going to see three words up above this header bar. Hey, stream, classwork, and people. Hey, stream is kind of things just kind of pop into the stream as teachers post things in the classroom. You really want to get used to going to that classwork page for assignments. You see how this popped up and it says, hey, track your progress, see a list of your work and its current status. You may get a lot of pop-ups like this the first time because this is the first time this account has been activated. So I'm just going to click got it. Okay. And then once you're in there, we're going to start working through these assignments. All right, now that we're into the Google Classroom and it says kindergarten parent training, again, that's what you should be seeing if you have logged in with your child's username and password, and you have made sure that you typed at tecumsehlocal.org if you are not on a school-owned device. Again, that username and password are going to be right here at the top of that sheet. There are two sheets that look really similar. One of them might say Google username and Google password, but that Google username and password are also going to be their Google or their login passwords for other programs as well. So again, that's going to get you into the Google Classroom to start with. Hey, and now that we're here, we're going to go through this kindergarten parent training. The first thing that it wants you to do is the first assignment says One View online registration. I want you to just notice a moment that when I click on that assignment, it just kind of expands that block there, that window. Hey, but at the bottom it says view material. Okay, I want you to get in the habit and get your child in the habit of making sure that you always click on that box to open up that assignment in the entire window because that's going to make sure that you have access to all of the directions that are there. Please be sure to always read through these directions the teacher has given you at the top before clicking on any links to any material or assignments. That's going to be really important. All right, so the very first thing that I'm going to beg all parents to do is to please go ahead, click on that where it says One View Online Registration. Notice that it opens in a new tab up here at the top, and go ahead and put in your login information and hey, make sure you're on the parent guardian account and log in. I know that many of you feel like, I just registered my kindergartner or first graders. Well, my information hasn't changed from last year. This is something that is required of every family every year. Prior to us going online with the registration program, parents had to every year got a stack of papers from the school and you had to go through and fill out your child's name and their address and your phone numbers on multiple sheets of paper. Hey, you had a registration form, you had an emergency medical form. Now all of that is contained within one view, but it is very important that it is updated. It's required that it is updated every year. So please go ahead and take a moment right now. You've got the link there. The link, go ahead and update your child's registration. Hey, this has to be done for all of your students at Tecumseh Local. Hey, it's very important that you provide us the permission for the media release and the emergency medical treatment if those are things that you wish to grant permission for. Has to be done every year. So there is nothing worse than a kindergarten or first grade child sitting in the clinic with a bad earache, crying, and all they want is mom or dad to come and get them. Hey, and we can't get a hold of anybody. The first number we call, no longer in service. The next number, this number has been disconnected. The next call, the voicemail box is not set up. Or the dreaded, The voicemail box is full. We have just tried 4 phone numbers to reach someone for your child and nothing. We've had no success and we have no way of getting a hold of anyone. Please don't let that happen to your child. Every time you have a phone number change, your phone number is, you change carriers or whatever, you change phone numbers, please go into OneView and update that registration. You change jobs, go in and change that. We try not to bother parents at work, but if your child's sick, you sure want us to give you a call at work and let you know that your child needs you. So again, please go ahead, take a few moments right now and update your child's registration. If not, as soon as we're finished here, go back. Hey, you can go ahead and leave that tab open if you'd want. Just click back over here on the classwork tab that we were working out of, which is what I'm going to do. And since this was not really an assignment per se, it was just material, there's nothing to mark as done here. So you can just use your back browser button. Okay, so that's the button up here, top left corner of your screen. Underneath that red button, just click on that back arrow. Okay, we're going to click on the assignment number 1 again to make it small. And we're going to go on to assignment number 2. If you'll click on 002 Google Meet. Okay, again, that just opens it up a little bit, but we want to click on View Assignment. That will make that assignment take up the entire screen. Notice now that there are extra things over here that we are going to need as we conclude. So let's talk a little bit about Google Meets. Why would your child be in a Google Meet? Well, that is how we're going to deliver new content to your student. That's the actual teaching that's going to take place. It's going to take place in a Google Meet. Okay, that's like a video conference. So for kindergarten and first grade students, kindergarten students' classrooms will go live every day at 9 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. Okay, your child needs to be in that live meet if at all possible. Okay, don't worry if you cannot get your child in live at that time. There will be a recording of each of those live sessions. So, for attendance purposes, students need to either be in the live meet to be counted as present for that half of a day, or they need to later watch the recording of that live meet, mark it as done so that teachers know that the student has viewed that assignment, and that will count as that half day's worth of attendance. So let's just look at a typical week. If we have a typical week of 5 days, there will be an AM and a PM lesson on each day. 9 a.m. and 12:15 for kindergarten. First grade is going to be 9:45 and 1. 9:45 a.m. and 1 p.m. Notice that we staggered those times slightly so that if parents have more than one child at Park Lane, they can both attend their live sessions. Across the elementaries, we're going to try to go live at just those different times. So hopefully we'll hit it right for your family. But if not, and you're sharing devices, again, your child can watch the recording later. You will have from Monday through Sunday evening or Sunday night to make sure your child records their either watches it live or later then goes back and watches that video recording of those live meets. As long as they watch all of their live lessons for the week, okay, those 10 sessions for a normal week, hey, by Sunday, let's say Sunday at midnight, and I hope no kindergarten or first grader is up at those late hours watching videos, hey, they'll be in attendance. That will count as their attendance piece. That does not mean that's all their school, okay, because hey, we're trying to be reasonable for the attendance portion of it, but we know that it's going to take a lot more than just that for a student to learn all that they need to learn for kindergarten and first grade. For all the grades, they are going to have to do actual work, right, as well to learn all the standards. So the learning is going to come through those other assignments and other videos and things that are going to be assigned to students. So how does my child do this live meet? How does that work? Well, teachers are going to provide a link to a Google Meet. Some teachers might use the same link every time. Again, that's going to make it much easier for you to access what you need. So right here, we have the link to the live Google Meet. So if you just click on that, it's going to open this window. The very first thing that you're going to want to do Sorry for the little glitch there, but once you click that join now, hey, you can see that I'm in there. Prior to joining, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here And I am going to click this link again because I wanted to show you something and it kind of glitched on me there. And when you click on that, the very first thing you see this window and it says, hey, or it gives you the opportunity to mute your mic or turn off your camera. We would like students to join muted, and teachers will be teaching them how to mute and unmute, but I certainly want parents to understand that as well. If you click on that, the microphone is muted, so when you join, we won't be able to hear your student or the background noise at your house or whatever. When there's going to be 20 people joining at once, it's going to make that process go a lot smoother. So mute your microphone and then click join now. Okay, you can see no one else is here. It's just going to be me, okay, which is not going to allow us to play around a little bit, but I want you to go ahead and still see these things. So I'm going to close that window right now so that I can show you. Okay. Down here in the bottom right corner, you'll see these three dots. It says more options. You have the option to change the layout. I'm going to go ahead and click on change layout. And again, feel free to be doing this as I'm talking, going through this step by step. Okay. If you can hear my voice, that's all you're going to need to do. Hey, if you can kind of follow the directions. Once you click on the change layout, you can see that there's some options there. Sidebar means that you have one big picture on the screen and some smaller pictures. This might be a great option if your child is in a Google Meet. The teacher is talking, but they still kind of want to see some classmates and start connecting with them. If that distracts your child, you might choose Spotlight, which means whoop, just the person that's speaking is big like it is now for me. Go back to change layout. Another option is this tiled. So if you're, especially those first few meets when your child is trying to meet everybody else in their class, choose that tiled so that they can see everyone and participate. Okay, another feature of Google Meet that your teachers will use a lot is this present now. If I were to click this present now button, hey, you're going to see it gives me a choice to present my entire screen, a window, a Chrome tab. I'm just going to say my entire screen. Okay. And once I click on that and click share, whatever I change my computer to, everybody else in the Meet would see the same thing. Okay. You're already seeing my screen, so there's no reason to do that right now. But we might also ask you to share a screen so that we can help you troubleshoot something on your computer. So it's good to know that that present now is there. The other thing that teachers will be doing is they'll share their screen so that students can see a book that they're sharing, or perhaps they'll be testing them on their sight words or their letters. So they'll share their screen so that the student can then respond to their questions. Okay. So in order to get out of a Google Meet, you will just hit this disconnect button. So I'm going to disconnect from this Meet now. And as soon as I do that, you see it says rejoin or return to the home screen. So let's say that your child accidentally disconnects. You can just click there, and you would be right back in that Meet. So you would mute your mic again and you would click join. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. I'm going to just click the X to X out of that Google Meet tab. I'm now back in my assignments in Google Classroom. I need to mark this as done because I've done that assignment. So click mark as done and you'll get this window that says you didn't attach work. Hey, so your teacher will see it's done. I don't have anything to attach. I'm just going to mark it as done. As soon as I've done that, I'm going to use my browser button to go back. I'm going to click 002 to kind of close that up and open 003. 003 is watching a video. So go ahead, click that view assignment. Now, hey, let's say your child was not able to join the live session, okay? 9 a.m. Monday morning, and they were not able to join. Maybe their brother or sister was using the device. Maybe you were at work and they were at the sitters. So now later, your teacher has posted the assignment. Now your child would go in and they would click on that link. It would take them to that assignment and they would just click and watch that. This happens to be just be a link that to the video when I read the Pigeon Has to Go to School book to welcome kindergarten students. If you're kindergarten or if your first grader wants to watch that, they certainly can go back and watch that. But hey, just as a little demo there. But again, this would be a link maybe to a live lesson. Hey, so your child would watch it. I really recommend they're sitting at a desk or a table. They've got their headphones on so they can really concentrate and participate. And when they're done, mark as done. Yes, mark as done because I have completed that. As soon as they're done with that, you can use that browser back button to go back, close up lesson 3 and click on number 4, the digital assignment. Okay. Again, always click on view assignment so that it opens in that new window. Here we are in that new window. And notice there's no link down here underneath the directions. Hey, this one is an assignment that every child got their own assignment. They're all different. So it's going to have your child's name over here. Go ahead and click on and open up that assignment. Okay, this is assignment that comes in a slide deck. So there's actually 4 assignments in one here. Notice that the first one is a video. This is Jack Hartman. He's a favorite YouTuber for kindergarten, first grade students, preschool students. He does a lot with letters and sounds and counting. Hey, if your child were to watch this video, he's going to be moving, he's going to be doing hand motions. We want your child to join in with that. So this might be a time to have them stand up, push in their chair, okay, and stand up behind that chair and do the motions and things as they watch this video, because it's going to be very educational but very movement oriented. So once your child's watched the video, they would then click on slide 2. On slide 2, it says letter C maze. Drag the boxes to cover the C's and complete the maze. Again, this is an assignment just for your child. On a trackpad, clicking and dragging requires 2 fingers. If you've got a mouse, it's going to work a little differently. Your child will probably pick up on it really easily. So I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and I'm going to cover the C's. That's simple. So go ahead and practice a few of those just so you can see what that looks like. Make sure that you can click and drag okay and cover those up. Then go ahead and click on assignment, the slide deck number 3 there. This one says drag the counters to cover pictures with the k sound. So again, your child would be finding pictures that have the k cake. Hey, please don't do this work for them. It doesn't do anyone any good. It's a waste of your time. Hey, give them some directions and then let them work on it and try to walk away and give them some independence. I don't think I've really talked about that, how important that independence is going to be, but that's the case when you're talking about logging into all these programs. Give them that login sheet, have it there beside them, show them what they need to do, but then let them do it. It's going to take a lot longer initially for you to do it that way, but it is going to save you a lot of time in the long run. It's also going to save the teacher time in the long run once they come back to the building, because kids are going to be independent with those things. So again, you're just clicking and covering cake. So I'm covering that. Flower, no. Cow, covering it up. Do a few of those just to practice that clicking and dragging. The last assignment here, number 4 there on the slide deck, says my favorite cookie is, and we're asking students to type in their favorite cookie. Now, parents, we really don't expect a kindergartner to type in chocolate chip. Okay, they're not going to know how to spell that. Hey, they're not going to necessarily know where all those letters are. They certainly don't know what, probably don't know what says ch to spell chocolate. Okay, what we would expect them to do is what they would do at school, which is do their best. Encourage them to think about it. Okay, I said this is an awful example because chocolate chip, CH, no. Hey, sugar cookies, oh, that's another strange spelled word. Hey, but let's think about it crazy. How about if they said macadamia nut? Macadamia nut. You might say to your kid, well, what does that start with? What letter? And at the very beginning of kindergarten, most kindergartners are going to struggle with that, but some of them might be getting that. It's the same as McDonald's. Hey, what do you think that starts with? And your kid's probably going to, M. Okay. Let them type that M. Hey, type what they can. What do they hear? Maybe they say macadamia. Oh, I heard a D. Maybe they type MD. That's great. If you want to type underneath there that that was macadamia nut, that's fine. But we really want your kid to grapple with letters, hey, with sounds, and do what they can do. That's going to teach them a whole lot more than you doing it for them. The whole time we've been working, okay, the program has been saving. Google saves automatically. So now that we're done, we can just go up here and click and close that tab, and we're back to the digital assignment. But now we need to actually turn that assignment in. So instead of just hitting mark as done, notice that the button says turn in. So click turn in and it says, wait, one attachment will be submitted for this 004 digital assignment? Yes, that's what we want to do. So click the turn in button. Now the teacher just got that back. The teacher is able to go through, look at it, see how your child did, and even send it back to them electronically as well. All right, so let's go ahead and use your back browser button. Go back to 4 and close it up. And then let's click on assignment 5, which is paper pencil assignment. So we open it and then we click view assignment to open it all the way. Now, last spring, for those of you first grade parents, or if you're a kindergarten parent but you have older students, you know that in the spring we sent some paper pencil work home, but then we weren't able to collect that. Hey, we had to just, hey, let you do that work, and then we weren't really able to see it again. Well, that is different this time. Now we are going to be able to see that work, which we love. So we are going to, again, give every kindergarten and first graders a binder. It's got about 8 weeks worth of work in it. It's the first quarter, but we're losing a week with the late start of the school year here. So please don't let your kids work ahead in that binder. Teachers are going to assign things. So perhaps in the live lesson, hey, the teacher is, again, let's talk about letter C, and they're going over letter C, and they've chanted about letter C, and the teacher has done some demo for how to make a letter C. And now they're going to say, boys and girls, I want you to go to your binder and I want you to pull out this particular assignment. You know, the teacher's going to, hold up an assignment and say, look for this assignment in your binder. Okay. And they're going to assign that child to do that. They might even do it during the live session. They might ask everybody to get out their paper, grab a pencil, and they might work on it together, hey, during the live lesson. Then we're going to ask them to turn that in. So let's talk about what that turn in process is going to look like. Again, the start of school for kindergarten, August 31st. Hey, the start of school for first grade is August 26th. We're going to take 2 weeks after August 31st, which is September 14th. That's going to be our first turn in date. K1, any Park Lane student is going to have that same turn in date. September 14th, 2 weeks later, September 28th, we're going to do a turn in. It's going to be Mondays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We hope that that time frame allows everybody to be able to stop by the school on those days. If weather's permitting, we're just going to put the crates out on the front sidewalk underneath the awning that leads up to the front doors of the building. They're going to be clearly marked with teachers' names. Hey, and all you're going to have to do is take all that work that your child just did. Hey, you're going to go over there to your child's teacher. If you're in Mrs. Stryker's class, you're going to go to her crate. You're going to search for your student. Oh, there's my student, Sally Sample. And you're just going to drop that work right into that hanging file or folder that's in your child's binder or their crate. Hey, the next 2 weeks later, when you come back with that 2 weeks worth of work, guess what? The teacher will have graded those first 2 weeks worth of assignments. They might even have some books in there for your child. Maybe your child was really struggling with making the letter S. And your teacher has provided a couple extra S practice sheets for your child. Okay, whatever it is that we need to exchange for you, we're going to put in that crate, and you're just going to drop off the new work, pick up the old work, head home. 2 weeks later, we'll see you again. Okay, hopefully we won't have that to do that too often because we'll be back in session. Hey, we will continue that though for students in Miss Biller and Mrs. Edmonston's classes who are staying online all year. So last year we weren't able to collect that work, as I mentioned. So I have a video here of how you can upload student work. So let's say that the teacher wants something and it's during that 2 week period, and maybe they're going to ask you to attach work. If that happens, then you would click the link here and you would be able to see how it is that you can take a picture. Let me point out now that, any place that you can get Google or go to Chrome, you can download the Google app. So if you're on your smartphone, you can download the Classroom app on your smartphone. Hey, and you could join a Google Meet on your smartphone. Hey, or your child could join a Google Meet on their smartphone or on their tablet. Hey, which means it would be really easy on your phone to take a picture of work and then log into Google Classroom on your phone and attach work. I'm going to show you how you do that. Right here, it says add or create. So if I were to click on this button, I could add a file. This is where I could look for a file on my computer. Okay. I could pick a file, I could attach it, okay, and then I could turn it in. Okay. Since we're not attaching work, we're just going to go ahead and mark as done. So go ahead and mark that assignment as done. Use your browser button to go back. close up number 5 and click on assignment number 6. Assignment number 6 is the first of our 3 online computer programs. So if you'll go ahead and click on Lexia Core 5, view the assignment, okay, and you'll just click on this link. That link is going to take you to a login page. The first time that you log in, and I have logged in before on this computer, so it's not asking me for the teacher's email address, but the first time that you log in, you're going to need your child's teacher's email address, and it's going to be right there on that sheet that you're going to be able to see. This is my teacher's email. Once you log in on a device, you won't need to type that in again, okay? If you again, but the first time, then it's going to ask you for your child's username and password, same as it is for the Google login. First 2 letters of their first name, so like SA dot A sample, okay? And then the password is always that reds, okay, and then those 4 numbers again, okay? So if you will do that and click on that login button, you're going to be logged into your child's Lexia Core 5 account. This is how they will log in as well. Once you're there, please don't click on any other buttons. Don't let your child click on any other buttons, and I'm going to tell you why. Again, once you're logged in, just X out of that. We're going to go back, and right here, I'm just going to take a moment to explain why I don't want you to work in that program or have your child work in there now. The first time a child logs into their Lexia Core 5 account for the school year, they will be given an assessment. They don't really know that they're being given an assessment, but the computer program is just checking to see where are they with their reading skills. Okay, the first about 10 questions are going to be similar for all students, and then they're going to start changing based upon students' responses. If your child did really well, then the program is going to give them harder questions, harder material to see. Do they still know it? Can they go a little harder, or do we need to drop back off? Okay. If your child struggled with those early skills, then the program is going to drop down and it's going to give them some easier skills. Because again, we need to know just where this child is starting so that we can best meet their needs. Okay, so if you were to click on some things, that's going to skew those results. Once your child, hey, completes that assessment, and it's just going to be seamless. They're just going to go right on working in the program. Hey, again, if you feed them answers, it is going to not help them one bit. If anything, it's going to be very detrimental to what they're doing. Hey, they have to be independent. Now, if your child is looking and they're like, I don't even know what they're asking, maybe it's telling them to click on pictures that have the k sound. Hey, and your child's just not understanding the directions, by all means explain it. You might give them an example. If the pictures are dog and cake, which one starts with the k sound? Help them to understand what the question is asking, but then let them grapple with it on their own. If you give them answers, hey, the program is very quickly going to think that they understand that skill. It's going to skip over that and it's going right on to harder things that your child is not going to be ready for. Independence is the key in Lexia Core 5. Headphones on. Explain to your kids that if they just start guessing and they're not giving it their best effort, hey, the computer's going to think they don't know what they're doing, and it's going to make them keep doing that skill and keep doing that skill. So the best thing they can do is give their best effort. Teachers can see exactly what students are working on and will be checking that. Your classroom teachers, as well as title staff, intervention specialists, and then they're going to be reaching out to students and helping them with any skills that they need help with. So it's really important, again, that your child be as independent as possible. It also tracks the number of minutes. We're going to give your child a set number of minutes to work in each of these programs on a weekly basis. Just realize that if your child is not doing those minutes, the other kids in the class that are doing those minutes are going to be surpassing your student, hey, by leaps and bounds. The program, company that created these programs knows exactly how many minutes a typical student needs to do in the program on a weekly basis to make a year's worth of growth. That's the number of minutes we're going to ask your child to do each week. If your child doesn't do that required number of minutes, they are not going to have that year's growth that you want them to have and we want them to have. Uh, same is true for the next program we're going to talk about. So if you're logged in there, let's go ahead and click on mark as done, and then close that Lexia Core 5. I'm sorry, don't close it, but go use your browser button to go back. Okay, close up number 6 and open number 7, which is happy numbers. Go ahead and click on view assignment, but don't click on that link yet. Okay, the first time you log in, you're going to need this code right here. In every teacher's set of directions, there should be a 6-digit code. Don't use this code unless you happen to be in Mrs. Stryker's class. Okay, I just borrowed a code from a teacher's classroom. Hey, that code is not on your direction sheet. It is in the directions on the computer. So again, jot down that number. Hey, I'm just going to jot down that number on a piece of paper here so I have it, or maybe better yet, I'm going to jot it on this password sheet. I'm just going to write happy numbers on it, and I'm going to write down that 6-digit code so that the next time I go to log in, hey, I'll have that. Now, every time you log in on the same device, you're not going to need that number. You're only going to need it if you log in on a new device. So I'm going to click the link for happy numbers. It says enter your class number. So I'm entering the number for Mrs. Stryker's class, but you're going to make sure you enter the number for whatever class you're in. Once I click go, here is the list of all of the students in Mrs. Stryker's class. I'm going to log in as Sally Sample, this sample student that I set up. And all it needs me to give is Sally's password. Okay, so if you will remember, the password is reds and then 4-digit number. Okay, so I'm going to type that in and press go, and it's going to log me into happy numbers. As soon as I get logged in, it's going to be the same thing as it was for Lexia. Don't do anything else because this program is very, very similar to Lexia. Lexia is reading skills. This is math skills. It still tracks the number of minutes the child does. It still gives them that initial assessment that gets progressively harder if students are doing well, and progressively easier or lesser skills if students are struggling, so that it can pinpoint exactly where to start students. Then teachers will be able to log in and they'll be able to see, wow, look at this. This student is already working at a first grade level, or this student, wow, they're working at a pre-K level. I'm going to have to give them some extra help in math to catch them up. So let students be absolutely 100% independent. Help them to log in, help them to log in. Okay, don't log in for them, and help them to log in and work in here. Again, a set number of minutes you're going to want to do for the week. So if it's 60, you might do 4 15-minute sessions, or you might choose to do 20-minute sessions. I'm going to do 20 minutes 3 times a week. Okay, whatever that is. So once you're logged in and you can do that, go ahead and click on that X to get out of happy numbers. Okay, mark it as done. Okay, I've already done that for this assignment. So click mark as done. Okay, and then use your browser button to go back. Close that up, and let's click on number 8, which is RAS Kids. Again, if you'll click on that, it's going to open up and it's going to ask for your teacher's username. That teacher login for RAS Kids, again, can be found on your login sheet, and it says RAS Kids teacher username. Okay. I chose to log into Mrs. Stryker's class where I have a sample student set up, but the username for RAS Kids is going to be your teacher's last name. So, like Stryker, and then all the teachers have PL for Park Lane after that. If you have a kindergarten teacher, they have a K after that PL. If it's a first grade teacher, it has a 1 after PL. But if your child happens to be in a looping classroom, whether it be kindergarten or first grade, they don't have anything after that PL. But again, it's right on that login sheet. So I've already logged into Mrs. Stryker's class, and now I'm going to search for my name or my student's name if I'm the parent helping them log in the first time. And right here is my name. Now notice they also have these icons. That's really going to help your students. So from now on, I'm going to know that I, as Sally Sample, am the green star. Okay, once I click on that, it is going to ask me for that password, which again is red, and then those 4 numbers, which is the same as my username. So for me, 3456 is right here, and I can just type in 3456 and go. Once you get into RAS Kids, there are 2 sections for the RAS Kids: Reading Room and Level Up. Most of the time, assignments are going to be given in this leveled up. What leveled up is it is books at your child's reading level. Right now, we put all of our first graders in at a level C. As soon as we know what their reading levels are, we're going to adjust that. Okay, kindergartners were all put in as an AA, which is the lowest level. But again, kindergarten, as they show us that they're doing some reading, we'll move them up to the appropriate level. And what happens in that leveled up section is students are going to complete all the books at that level or all the books, as many books as they can until the teacher decides they no longer need to be at this level. We need to move them up. So you can see in this leveled up section, look at all these books that are in there at my level. Hey, this happens to be at a level C. Hey, and for every book, it has a headset, a book, and a question mark. The lowest levels will not have a question mark because they don't have enough content for them to have comprehension questions. But let me just show you this. First one is called All About Spiders. So what we would ask your child to do is to first listen to the story. So I'm just going to click on listen and we'll see what happens here.
All About Spiders, written by Russ Booyak. There are many kinds of spiders. A spider has 8 legs. It eats bugs. A spider has 8 legs. It can climb. A spider has 8 legs. It can make silk. A spider has 8 legs. It has many eyes. A spider has 8 legs. It lays eggs. A spider has 8 legs. It can live outside. It can live inside too.
All right. And when that book is done, you'll just click that done. Hey, because I've read my first book, it says reward has been earned. Hey, I've got 10 stars and it's got a check mark next to that headphone set. I've completed that task. Teachers are going to ask students to read a set number of books a week. When they say to complete a set number of books, in order to complete it, the student not only has to listen to it, they need to read it independently and they need to take the quiz. So if we were to read this book, we would click on the read icon then, and the child would be reading that themselves. All About Spiders. All About Spiders. There are many kinds of spiders. A spider has 8 legs. It eats bugs. I'm going to go ahead and click through there. Again, we don't want your child to do that. We want them to finish that book. And once they have, you can see they're getting credit for that. They've just earned more stars and they've got a check mark next to the book has been read. The final part is that quiz. So if they click on the quiz, it says, why did the author write this book? Okay. And again, this is a level C. So hopefully the students would be able to read this, or if not all of that, you could help them with that. Did they write it to entertain, to inform, or to persuade? Again, these will be things that we'll be covering with students, but I'm just going to go ahead
To
and
inform readers.
okay.
To entertain readers.
Notice that if I
Why
click on
did
it,
the author
it will read
write
it for
this
me as
book?
well. So, hey, that's on the
To
words,
inform readers.
and then I can click on the actual number there. So,
what is a detail from the book about spiders?
and I would,
Spiders have 8 legs.
okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pick some answers here so that, hey, we can get, and you can see what this looks like. Okay. All right. And when we're done,
did it. Perfect.
okay,
You got all the stars.
and I click done, and then you see that for this book, everything is marked as complete. That would count as that book assignment for that day or for the week. If it's 3 books or 4 books, whatever it is, your child has to complete all tasks. The other thing that teachers might assign a student to do is to record a book. And if they ask them to record a book, hey, they will see that assignment and they'll be able to complete that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and click out of RAS Kids. Let's go back here. Hey, you can again mark that as done. Okay, mark as done. Use your back browser button to go back and close up number 8, which was RASKids. So that gives you a good overview of the type of assignments that you're going to see in your child's Google Classroom. That's not an all-inclusive list, hey, but that's kind of the main types of assignments that will be given. Hey, you might also see some things like Flipgrid, where students will record themselves, a video of themselves. Nearpod, there might be an assignment where they might be answering some questions as they go through an assignment. They might be watching some videos. Hey, but again, if you have this basic understanding of how the Google Classroom works, that will serve you very well. A couple other things we just want parents to be aware of. If you click on number 9 and then get into there to the view materials, this is information about the lunch program that will be happening. In the spring, we had free lunch across the district for any student or any child up to age 18. You didn't have to have a lunch code or you didn't have to sign in for that. It was free for everyone. That will not be the case as we are starting school back up now. And we will be following our regular child nutrition, federal government guidelines for school lunches and breakfast. So if you would like to apply for free or reduced lunch, you can click on the link here that says Welcome to the Lunch app. It's available on the Tecumseh website. You would fill out your application if you qualify for free lunch. Your child will be able to come weekly and pick up 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches free of charge. If you qualify for reduced price lunches under the TLS Lunch Bus guidelines, you will see the cost for that. So the weekly breakfast charges for reduced are $1.50 and for lunch is $2. Let's say you don't qualify for free or reduced, but you still think it would be good for your child to participate once in a while. Maybe every week you're going to go ahead and let them come and get their breakfast and lunch that way. Then you would need to put money on your child's lunch account. Full pay breakfast is $8.75 and full pay lunch is $13. Okay. Again, I encourage you to go in here and read through these guidelines so that you understand more about what that lunch program is going to look like. I'm going to click out of there. The link here will take you to the Easy Pay, and you can sign into Easy Pay account. You may already have an Easy Pay account if you have older students. You can link your new kindergarten student to that by looking for their student ID number on this page. Or even if you're a first grade parent, maybe you've never used Easy Pay before, I would encourage you to go ahead and sign up for Easy Pay, because even if you don't want to put money on your account because you're not going to participate in the lunch program right now, when we return to school, you may want to use that. And that is how you can put money on your child's account. You can also just send in a check if you don't want to have that transaction fee, which is $2 per transaction that Easy Pay charges. Hey, you can still send in a check, put money on your child's account, but you can still use the Easy Pay to check their balance, okay, or to get alerts when your child's account balance reaches a certain level. I would highly recommend that. It's hard to keep track of how quickly your child is going through that money. They pack some, they buy some, and parents, next thing they know, their student is overdrawn and they're not able to get their regular lunch at school because they have such a negative balance. So sign up in Easy Pay and it will give you alerts, hey, when your child's account balance reaches whatever level you choose. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of that. Again, this is just all information about the lunch program. Finally, our last link here, and we're going to close up number 9 and go to number 10. Notice that there was no button to turn in because this is just material. It's not really an assignment. So I'm going to click on that view material. These are just links to portions of the Tecumseh website. Hey, the Park Lane portion of the website, hey, has information like supply lists, general information. This will be more helpful when we return to the building. Hey, there's information on the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, on Latchkey, again, for when we return to the building. Hey, in addition to the Park Lane portion, the Tecumseh portion of the website, schools is where you can click to get to information about any of the schools, Tecumseh High School, Middle School, New Carlisle Elementary, etc. Hey, on the main side of the web page, if you come down here to the bottom, that's where kind of breaking news is, things that are happening. So Chromebook device assignments. And this is where you can click to see which student in the family has been assigned a Chromebook. So On this spreadsheet below, sorted by parent last name, you can see that, and you can see which child in the family was granted a Chromebook. Okay, so again, this is a great place to go right now to see if your family, how many Chromebooks you've been assigned, and which children have those Chromebooks have been assigned to. All right. Supply list link is also there. So let's go ahead and go back in the browser button and close up that last assignment. Okay, when you are finished working on the Chromebook in the bottom right-hand corner, you can click to close that out and sign out of that account. If you're on some other device, again, if you go up here, hey, this is where you can add another account. You can sign out of all the accounts. Okay, switch accounts. If now it's time for your another child to get on, you can click on another link there to go to a different child's account. All right, since we're done there, we're going to go back to my presentation that we've worked through most of this already. Okay, and I just want to go back to the a couple final things. If you have not yet signed up for the Tecumseh app, I encourage you to do that. You can go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and download the Tecumseh app at this time. And once you have the Tecumseh app, I would encourage you to go into My Schools, select Park Lane, and toggle on notifications for Park Lane Elementary. Then when you go into Park Lane, you can choose to go to the directory to see, maybe find your information about your child's teacher, their email address. You can also go to the news feed. That's where all notifications that we've sent out will be posted under that news feed. Also, the Tecumseh Facebook page is a great resource of information about the district. Things are updated on there on a daily basis for sure. The phone number at Park Lane is 937-845-4470. And you can always reach us via email, your child's teacher, or myself. Again, the app, make sure you select Park Lane. Here it shows you again that My Schools. Hey, to select Park Lane, the news feed is where you're going to find out any information we've posted, and events gets you access to the kind of our calendar of events. Hey, if you have any questions, we would be happy to answer them. Just get a hold of us again at that 937-845-4470 or email me at carol.strader@tecumsehlocal.org. It's Carol, Karyl Strader, Strader, at tecumsehlocal.org. Hey, we do have welcome class of 2033 for all kindergarten parents. That is the year that kindergarten students will graduate from Tecumseh High School. So you can go out and take a picture in front of the signboard. We'll leave that up for a couple of days here. Probably take it down by August the 26th. And that is it for this presentation. Meet and greets with kindergarten teachers. That's the information on where those classes are located. But since we are many parents that might be watching this are now first grade, hopefully you're coming in August 24th and 5th for those meet and greets. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We want this to be as smooth a year as possible. We know it's different. We wish that we could have kids in the building full time and kind of do normal school, but for right now we can't. But we are still there for you, and we want to help your child be as successful as they possibly can be. Thank you.